Stacy's feeling a bit better, but probably feels the same way I do, except she's not quite as silly as I am. And the doctor says everybody needs to get out and get their flu shot or their boosters or whatever they're overdue on to minimize and mitigate feeling like caca and yourself several times a day. How you been, Brian?
You know, Jim, it takes a big man to admit he's himself several times. Didn't Vince McMahon get mad at Jim Ross for revealing that he shit himself?
I can't remember. Well, it seems like, see, it could go either way. Because Vince is the kind of guy that would like to hear that story and would get a kick out of it, but maybe not when he was the perpetrator of the shart. But I've shit myself a number of times when I haven't even been sick. It's all about, placement and fucking surroundings, timing. Technically, if you're shitting on purpose, but you still shit on yourself, isn't that shitting yourself?
Explain exactly how this would happen. You're shitting on purpose, and it happens to go on yourself.
Yeah. You're trying to take a shit.
Are you in the forest? Where?
Yes. Yes. You're. God damn it! I told you don't make me laugh. I can't let you're in the forest. You're on an island in the, I guess, is that the Caribbean? St. Martin? Where is that? Is that the Caribbean?
Well, there's plenty of islands. You can pick any island, yeah.
Well, no, you're on an island behind a sand dune. You're in the forest 2 or 3 times. You're actually in the forest, but it's off an interstate exit because it's 2:00 in the morning in the days when they didn't have all night gas stations at every exit, and they used to lock their doors. They probably still do. The gas station. Yeah. If you had an outside bathroom, it was locked. You had to get the key. If they're open, closed, you're fucked. So that would be hanging off the back bumper of the car, trying to lean over the goddamn edge of the fucking service road.
Did you say 2 times in the forest?
2 or 3. Well, in my life. There was
how often are you in the forest? Yeah.
Well, no, when I was a kid, one time I was at the lake about fucking 2 miles behind the house here before they fucked the whole area up with subdivision. And we were fishing, and I, tried to go behind a tree to, because I didn't want to walk all the way back to the house. And the son of a bitch, I lost my balance and fell backwards. It fell back in it, as they say, but I missed my shit and landed in a cow pie. And then there was another time that I actually...
So it doesn't sound like you shit on yourself at all in that situation.
Well, no, but at the same time, you got shit on you. But then there's another time as I did slip and fall back in it. That was the time off the fucking exit at the thing. Yeah, anyway.
How old were you?
What? It was about 30, 35.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what are you talking about? Fishing, or are you talking about at the interstate?
Any of these, because I think there has to be an age cutoff. Like, it doesn't count before like the age of, I don't know, 10 or 12.
That's I was under 12 then in the cow pie incident. So it's your show.
People always want to know what the Midnight Express did with their time off. They were in the forest having these wild adventures with cow pies.
No, actually, no, wait a minute. Were the boys with me one time? No, I was alone. I've had to shit twice coming back in the middle of the night from a fucking town where you were miles from anywhere, and pulled off the side of the road. And because of my bad knees, I can't squat sufficiently to do that for that long, that deep, and not get any on me. So my mode of preference is that I'd get behind the car and yes, bend my knees and crouch down somewhat. But if you grip the back bumper, then you're leaning backwards and you're shitting straight down, but your feet are kind of, perpendicular, angular underneath the bumper. And I'm able to hold myself without putting a strain on my knees. Don't you see, Matthew? And then you just evacuate your bowels and then fucking get a wide stance around it and avoid it. And you've already got something there. Obviously, a car towel, a burger towel sitting right there. It's ready to do the maintenance, and then you go on your way. But the one time,
yeah, you made it sound easy. Yeah.
When I was reaching for the burger towel, my other hand slipped off the goddamn bumper, and there was some intermixing between me and the poopy.
What do you do? Do you get rid of the pants? Or what? I figure you landed. Actually, I don't know where you landed. Did you get rid of the shirt? What did you land?
Pants on. I was going to shit in my pants. I took my pants off.
Well, when you fell back, when you're shitting behind the bumper, did you take your pants all the way off, or did you roll them down a little bit and then squat or whatever the fuck you were doing?
I'm wearing goddamn like fucking sweatpants as far as I can remember. Zubaz back in those days, maybe. So now you just fucking. I didn't want to. You would shit in the pants, even if they were around your knees. Then by the time you stood up to perform the performance with the burger towels, there might be some drippage, and then you got to sit back in the pants and get back in the car. Then you're cross-contaminating your own feces back into your flesh and your clothing, and then putting it in your car seat.
Oh.
And then you don't know where it'll go from there. So the best thing to do is just take the pants off and set them up on the goddamn trunk, and then fucking perform the lean back with the burger towel with an easy reach, and then perform the cleanup, and then go on about your merry way. But in that one case with slipping off the bumper, there was more burger towels involved. But I'll tell you what happened. We went to St. Martin for the NWA convention in 1987. Crockett flew himself and, I think two of the promoters, Elliot Murnick, and all like 15 or 20 of the top guys to St. Martin for the weekend for the NWA convention, because there was no NWA convention anymore. It was in name only. It was a tax write-off for them. There was no promoters meeting where they voted on the title anymore or whatever. In 86, he took us to Las Vegas. So it was just Crockett rewarding the top guys. And so we all go to St. Martin, and everybody's wife got to come. And so I'm talked into, by the previous administration, into a boat ride. A boat ride now, I sound like goddamn. Yeah, they were playing Camptown Races, singing. It was an ice cream truck. No, it was a fucking, not a cruise, but what am I searching for? Maybe an excursion, a 3-hour tour where they took you to an island, cooked a meal, and served it to you, and then brought you back from the fucking island, right? And it'd take 3 or 4 hours. And it didn't sound bad, and it was supposed to be a classically trained chef or whatever. I think it was a crappily trained chef, but we'll get to that in a minute. So go out there, and of course, we're going to be on a fucking boat in the middle of the goddamn Caribbean or wherever that part of the world is. We got to get sunscreen. I was not a noted tanner in my 20s. And so I reach up and at the fucking gift shop or whatever and grab the bottle off the SPF, whatever the highest protection is, right? I grab one. No, I had her grab one. That's what it was. Even further fucking proof of my innocence. Somebody had put the SPF non-existent bottle in the goddamn SPF. This is a fucking sun shield column. And she didn't look. And we get out there, we put all this shit on us. We think we're covered up. Radiation could not penetrate this fucking shield we put on, right? We're going to ride on this boat, eat this fucking lunch on this island, ride back, and there'll be the end of it. All the way there, boom. I'm thinking, I'm getting fucking hot. Give me some more of that goddamn sunscreen. Put some more on. We eat the lunch. Within 20 minutes, I mean, some people have not yet fucking finished picking their teeth. My stomach started bubbling. I'm like, what? Is there a restroom on that boat? Because there's only like 8 of us, I think, including the captain, the skipper. Is there a restroom on that? No, sir. But you can go. what if you got to do number 2? I'm thinking. At the time, I didn't want to come out and say to all of these strange people that I'd been hornswoggled into spending a fucking afternoon with, that I didn't particularly have anything in common with any goddamn one of them. It was idly fucking staring off into space. I didn't want to tell them all I'm about to shit myself, so I just wandered off. And I got as far away as I could and it's not like this is like Gilligan's Island with all these palm trees and shit. It's a pretty goddamn bare. It's a sandbar looking fucking. They can see me for a while. So I'll walk as far as I can go and get around some scrub brush. And as soon as I do that, I realize I have brought not a goddamn thing to wipe with. I was so verklempt over this whole situation I'd found myself in that I did and I was younger then, and that was only after the first knee surgery. The second one was still. So the point is, I could get down there, and then I said, all right, I'll use my tube sock. It's a brand. I've just put it on that morning. It's not filthy. It's a white tube sock. I feel
on the
strange.
Beach?
No, my sock that I'm wearing. What do you mean?
I said on the beach. Are you on the beach?
Well, no, we're on this island. There is a beach on this island. You can walk. I'm not going to be walking around barefoot like fucking Tarzan. I've got my fucking tennis shoes on. There's goddamn sharp rocks and who knows what fuck else out there. Goddamn bones of fish.
You're on the beach walking around with tube socks and tennis sneakers?
No, they're on the beach eating the fucking food that made me have to shit. I'm in as far up in this goddamn son of a bitch that they've landed us on as I can be, that nobody can see me. And I want to go walk that far barefoot. So fuck you, back to my story. So I'll use one of my tube socks. God damn, now I'm dizzy. And that worked, right? That worked. But then I realized I can't walk back over there wearing only one sock now. Maybe if I take the other sock off, I'm wearing my shit. They won't notice, right? Well, he was always just wearing shoes. You know, it's the beach. As soon as I walk back over, my wife goes, what happened to your socks? I said, shut up. So that's the point where I fucking look down and I notice, wait a minute, why am I getting so fucking red? Because there's no, like I said, there's no shade on this thing. And there's no real covered area on this little boat. And my legs, and look at where I can see where I've taken the socks off now. There's a difference. I said, give me some more of that sunscreen. And I look, and that's where it's like, what is the lowest sun protection is either 2 or 4 or something like that. That's what it is. And I'm like, what did you get? I got in the, okay. So now it's the middle of fucking summer in the Caribbean or the Caribbean. And we didn't bring goddamn full body suits. There's nothing really to cover up with. Like, if you have a bath towel we can wrap around ourselves, just get us fucking home. So we get back to the thing, and that's why I've told a story before, picking up from there, that it was the next day we were supposed to leave, and I had to go back. We went to, was it Minneapolis? The night before, it was February 27, 1987. No, that was when I came back from Hawaii. Goddamn, it was, where did I go back from? I'll go back to here. No, we went back to goddamn Pittsburgh. It was still Pittsburgh, but it wasn't the cage match. All right. Fuck story up. I'm on drugs. I've got to go back to the northeastern United States to go back to work for Crockett, and my wife's going on back to Charlotte. So we got separate flights. So all night we both laid in bed shivering and in agony, because then we were full-fledged sunburned, and I mean red and raw. and just, and couldn't have a fucking sheet on you. And then that was the fucking rib, is that I had to go back to the Northeast. I put shorts on because I couldn't have shit on my legs. And now I can't even wear socks because my feet are fucking sunburned, right? And I've got this white shit all over me. So I'm walking through, it was either an airport in New Jersey or upper Pennsylvania or whatever, looking like a fucking lunatic. I got a t-shirt and shorts on and socks with no shoes, and I'm sunburned as fuck, and it's like 30 degrees outside and fucking whatever. And I was miserable. I couldn't even put my knee braces on after that for like 3 days. So that was a shitty experience. So that's another time, you know, and what are you going to do? You're going to shit in public. It's not really public. You're going to shit out in the open and let nature take its course.
Seems to happen to you a little more frequently than the average person.
I've been a lot more strange places than the average bear there, fella. How many people you know been in half of the situations that I've been in through fault of my own or not?
Just minding your own business and these things happen. Well, Jim,
I wasn't even there. It was Owen. All right. So anyway, have we talked enough about poopy?
Well, you know, it's unfortunate that it was set up so naturally, but it makes me wonder that, are you happy that when you went there, you had not yet discovered Manscaped, I guess, now that I think about this transition, trying to be honest about it, but the knowledge that one day there would be a service that we would transition to and talk about here on the show.
You know, I'll tell you what, that I've not thought of it until you just brought it up, but ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and pubic hair enthusiasts of all ages, that would have saved me a lot of grief back in the days on the road if Manscaped had been a thing, because back then, and of course, a lot of the wrestlers shaved their bodies, the bodybuilders and the pretty boys and everything, they shaved various parts of their bodies, but they had to do it the old-fashioned way with those big disposable razors or the daggum razor cartridges and shaving cream and all this shit. It was a process, and there was a lot of damage done to various places a lot of the wrestling fans never even saw back in those days. And in other cases, like myself, who was neither a bodybuilder nor a pretty boy, I was not able to do that because I didn't want to slice my shit up, right? So it would get sticky and it would get messy in those times where you were either out there in the ring sweating your balls off to give the people what they wanted, or when you were trying to give yourself what you wanted out behind the bumper of your car out in the woods, in my stance. And a lot of burger towels would have been saved if I had, because what that is it's not a filter. It's not a filter. The hair around your asshole. It's not a filter. What it is an impediment. You want all the effluvia to go all the way out. You don't want any of it to catch on the way, see? So therefore, I've found that not only if you jingle your balls at Christmas, but also if you will just take that Hershey Highway and just whack all the foliage off the left side down and the right side up, then you will be slicker than cum on a gold tooth and clean as a whistle, even if you have to poop in the woods. That's just what I've found. And folks, the Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0 is the one-stop shop for the man who deserves it all, whether he wants to manscape his man parts or avoid pooping accidents. And while you're at it, it's good for the chest, it's good for the underarms, it's good for the forearms, it's good for the knife edge chops, it's good for all of them. The Lawnmower 4.0 body trimmer is what we're talking about, the best personal grooming implement that we have ever seen on this planet. But it comes along with the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer, because you can't get the lawnmower up your nose or in your ear. Or up your ear and in your nose. Whichever way you try it, that won't work. That's why they made their own dedicated Weed Whacker. And it also comes with the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, the Crop Reviver Ball Toner. It also comes with the incredible brand new Body Buffer, an incredible body scrubber that allows you to exfoliate yourself. And that's now becoming legal in more states. Brian, have you heard about this? I think Mississippi was the latest to make exfoliating yourself legal. So now you can do it with the brand. Well, you can go to manscaped.com and check out all the implements and ingredients in the Manscaped Platinum Package 4.0. And this Christmas, it's never too early to start thinking about gifts, whether it's for a friend in these parts or a friend in your pants. You can make this season a jolly one. You can whack down a bunch of weeds with these bad little boys and do your little drummer boy a favor so that he doesn't trip on his way to Mama's house to drum.
What? Is this
or
in the
maybe
copy?
he'll just end up beating it. I don't know. The little drummer boy. Come, they told him. Pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. There you go. You've got the rhythm. All right. If you go to manscaped.com/JCE right now, you're going to get 20% off and free shipping on however many of these sumbitches you buy, because how many friends you got? Most of you out there, I know our listeners have at least one or two imaginary friends, a couple of make-believe friends, and a friend that actually owes them money. That's why they stick around. But nevertheless, get a bunch of them and just pass them out, because I bet if everybody started making their crotches smell nicer, even if everybody was walking around clothed downtown, you could smell the difference in the air. Do something good for the environment this Christmas. Manscaped.com/JCE, 20% off and free shipping, and make the world's crotches smell better.